Hi everyone, welcome back to Valhalla Games. Here I have a very big box. And no, I'm not squatting down, this is the actual size of the box. This was incredibly kindly sent to me for review by OTP Terrain. And they are based in Western Australia. And they are manufacturers or printers of 3D printed terrain and miniatures. So I recently did a review on one of their products, which you can see up here or down there, and they liked the look of the review and they sent me some more products to review. So I'm very, very excited about it because certainly from what I've seen, their stuff looks outstanding. So let's get the box open and let's see what's inside. Alright, let's get it out. I'm looking forward to it. Let's see what I've got inside. Okay, into the Lucky Dip box. First thing to come out is an amazingly well printed roof to a fantasy building of some kind. Okay, let's put that aside. Next thing to come out. Okay, looks like part of that same building. That is truly amazing. That is just beautiful. Oh, it's a very satisfying click when they go together too. Alright, that's two pieces. Here is the third piece, and that is beautiful too. And what a beautiful thing. Now what I will be doing with this entire series is I'm going to do this as a general kind of unboxing. Have a little bit of a look. You're seeing it firsthand just the same as I see it. I've not seen these before, so I'm very excited. So I'll get them all out and we'll have a quick look. And then what I'll do is I'll review each one individually, and we'll get some close-up photos of each one individually. And then what I'll do is that'll be in its unfinished state, just purely as it comes off the 3D printer. And then what I'll do is I'll finish them for a future video so that you can see them in their completely finished and painted state. Now, looking at the size of that box, that might take me a while, so I'll probably do it in batches. Perhaps I'll either do the World War II stuff first or the fantasy stuff first, and I will present it once that complete set is full. So that's amazing. Let's have a look at the next thing. Alright, here we have historical 3D printed building, part of a building. And what I'll do is, as I review each one individually, I'll give you the full details of what it is, product name, the recommended retail price, and the links will be below in the show notes to if you want to purchase any of the stuff. But wait, there's actually going to be a discount voucher that OTP Terrain have kindly offered to all the viewers and fans of Valhalla Games. So I'll put a link of that in the video towards the end as well. So make sure you watch to the end because there'll be a discount voucher. Alright, now this is an odd shaped thing. Anyone guess what this is? Very interesting. well, if you didn't know what it was before, you certainly do now. That is a 156 28mm German U-boat, and I love it. Somewhere in that big box is the end piece for the U-boat, I'm pretty sure. So it last final look, and then I might grab it off camera. There are so many pallets in Ash, it's incredible. One thing about guys that are ATP terrain, they definitely pack it well. It's well packaged, no expense spared on the pallets, and certainly arrived in excellent condition from what I can see so far. Right, that's a lost cause, that's lost in there. Let's have a look at what is in this bag. Alright, this is a smithy, a fantasy smithy. Now, I'm yet to work out how it really goes together, although that looks pretty good. And not only is that fantastic detail and a really quite large model, if you grab, I'll grab a 28mm guy in a minute, and we'll show you what that's like up front, probably when I actually do the review on each individual piece with the close-ups. But the Wargame stuff, for example, and some of the other manufacturers, just to pick one out, a lot of their stuff is actually kind of 172, suitable for 28mm, but in fact it's really certainly a bit small for my liking. So this is a really great little model of Smithy, complete with an anvil. It's even got a hammer on the side. That's a really nice model of fantasy. Alright, well, I'll put the big box aside for a moment, and we'll go through that for the prow of the German U-boat, and we'll have a look and see what's in these small boxes. Resin printed miniatures. Now this is new for me. Oh, they're lovely. This is new for me. I haven't really delved into the world of 3D printing. I remember having a conversation with someone just a couple of years ago saying, 3D printing it'll never catch on. You'll never get enough detail to be comparable to a standard at the time sculpted mini. Well, that day has come. The rump of that horse is absolutely perfectly smooth, and there's certainly been no additional finishing by me, and certainly no finishing required. And the other interesting thing, of course, is because it's printed, there's no mould lines. So that's something I never thought of before. So not only are you getting an excellent quality print here, but you're getting no mould lines. So in fact, this is better. It's very impressive, that's for sure. Alright, let's have a look in box 2. Alright, I've been through all the pallets. You're going to get a thing for these things. You know when you smell bacon in the morning, you know that beautiful bacon's coming. Well, now when I see pallets, I know this stuff's coming. Could be an addiction. Alright, in amongst all those pallets, I found the prow for the U-boat. And also, unexpectedly, I also found the U-boat gun turret. I'm not sure what the naval types would call this, but not only have we got the gun turret there, but I've got a couple couple of guys standing guard on the U-boat. A smaller and a larger gun. Now, me not being the naval type, I have actually no idea where those guys are going to go, but I'm kind of assuming that it's going to be at least one up here maybe, and the other one, I don't have a clue. Let's go with there for now, and I'll definitely be checking in and seeing where it's at. But wait, there's more. So also, I managed to miss this with my hand in the big box, but this is the base for the ruined chateau. And again, don't worry, I'm going to show you close-ups of all these in full detail, but for now, something like that. And when I work out how they all go together, it'll probably make more sense as well. So that's a very, very nice building. Very nice building. Well, there it is, people. So a huge haul from OTP Terrain. Thanks very much, guys. I will be working diligently to get these all finished off, assembled correctly, and labelled up and shown off in the best possible light. So I'll come back in a minute and I will show you the individual sets and grouped and hopefully assembled correctly for close-up view and a general pre-paint, pre-finishing type review. Well, I'm impressed. Alright, so this is a magnificent building. It's a big building. It's definitely a big building. In fact, it's 470 millimeters long. So that's a big building. It's a magnificently big building. However, it could be just me, but I did have a little trouble putting this together. Have a quick look at this. Okay, all that being said, the answers were all in the picture. I just had to look at the image on the website, and everything I needed to know was actually there. But it did take me a little bit of a struggle, as you can see. But it's a fantastic building. What a backdrop to an unfolding campaign. I can sort of see this up on the hill at the back of the table. A sweeping road coming up to it, a couple of 156 scale town car type things there, 1930s big black cars alongside it, and this is where the retreat for some pretty high up generals in the Reich were taking refuge, and you've got to fight through a number of obstacles to finally get here and retrieve the special plans for the V2 or whatever else you can possibly conceive. But just the sheer size of the building is just amazing. So I'll show you, give you a bit of a scale look. Alright, for scale, here is a Perry's 156 guy. And so the building's a little bit under scale, as you would expect with a building this size. If you wanted to pay twice the price, you could, but a little bit under scale, but certainly looks nice, and I don't think anybody would be complaining about that at all. However, when you go to a Warlords game plus size model, it is certainly undersized, but I think it's probably representative, exactly the same as all the Warlord Games buildings, and would fit in on that scale, on that size table, utilising those scale buildings, suitable for 28mm, and it will look fantastic. And as I say, certainly in the background, where all your main game playing is happening out in front, would be a fantastic addition to anybody's table. Now, this is called, firstly I must apologise for my French pronunciation, Chateau Saint-Marie de Mont. So I know that is a building that I have heard of, and the moment I finish filming I'm actually going to go and look that up, because I'm pretty sure that was in Band of Brothers or one of those other movies, and it's just truly a magnificent building. So you can see there the fixed doors and windows on this side, except for this one. On the rear they are also fixed, and on the sides no windows or doors. You have these fantastic turrets here. They are not really playable in that there's no floors in them, they're just really for decoration. So underneath the lid, nicely tiled, nicely crafted. Love these little windows, dormer windows. So inside the building is quite plain, certainly nicely printed. Little doorways there indicating where the stairs would be in the story below. But there is actually not stairs in there. But I don't think this is the sort of building that you'd probably necessarily play into any great detail, although you certainly could if you wanted to. How about I keep that together so that I can mark it in some way, so next time when I come to put it together I'll know what's going on. So the two main roof sections come off, which exposes this large down upstairs section. I'll see if I can show you that. That's a large section there, multiple rooms. You could certainly play through those rooms. And then below that, the bottom story. Multiple rooms in there that you could play through. A fantastic model. Fantastic model. So the trick to getting it together, by the way, is the rooms are different heights. So if you actually notice here, it's a slightly different height, and here is a significant different height. You can obviously tell the inside rooms by the ones that have, or the upstairs rooms by the ones that have the stairway. But this slight difference in height here is accommodated by this weird sticky outlet here, nicely crafted there to fit exactly in that spot, and then everything just goes together from there. If you actually look at the website here, you can see it's got pictures of the front and pictures of the rear. If you look at the window placements, particularly these small windows here, that will actually give you a pretty good indicator of where your things are meant to go. Once you put it together once, I think second time you'll be fine. But a magnificent building. All I think it needs is a couple of German 1930 town cars out the front, as I said, and perhaps a nice Panzer IV parked down the side. What a beautiful addition to the table and something that's really going to set the scene. Well done. Again, Chateau Saint-Marie de Mont. So this one is $195 including GST Australian, and that's a lot of money, but it's a lot of building as well. Very impressive, I think you'll agree. Fantastic. Chateau Saint-Marie de Mont. Okay, here we have a close-up of the German U-boat waterline model. So this is called U-boat Type 7 waterline model. $88 Australian including GST and freight calculated. Now this is a magnificent model, and the thing that I like most about this is actually not necessarily the model, but I'm beginning to capture in my mind's eye some sort of raid, perhaps British Commandos. Perhaps it might be called the Greatest Raid. British Commandos attacking against all odds in port in France somewhere, and this German U-boat just happens to be in port at the time. So it's made in multiple pieces. So each section is about 6-7 inches long. It just sits together. In fact, I'm considering whether it might be a thing to drill some small holes in here and magnetise it. A couple of magnets, a couple of not too heavy-duty magnets. Put those in there, and then that would click together nicely and stay together on the tabletop. Now, having said that, it's not like I'm going to be brooming it down the table like a vehicle. Or perhaps I am. Perhaps that could be part of the scenario. Perhaps we could be British Commandos in kayaks trying to chase it down the water. The mind just boggles with the possibilities. But if I magnetise it together, then it's going to stay together nicely on the table and never get any of that horrible split thing you sometimes see with roads and other terrain, and that's made in pieces for storage. So it's a really great model. I'm very, very happy with it. This is the sort of thing I'd love to put on a shelf just on display, with a couple of guys on it, and you know, as I say, maybe a couple of kayak guys in here. I believe that Wargame have a couple of commandos in kayaks, so I'll be looking forward to checking them out, even just for the look of it. So not only does it come in multiple parts, but it comes with this gun as well. Now, as I mentioned before, I'm not a naval guy. I've got no idea how this goes together. That looks like a good place for it, but perhaps that's incorrect. I will check it out before I start gluing anything together and make sure that I've got it super duper rivet counted, so that nobody's going to laugh at me when I put it on the table. Now, it also comes with the second smaller gun. From memory, I believe that goes on the bow, just from memory of books and movies, but I'll have to check that out for sure. So as well as that, it comes with 5 guys. So 156 scale miniatures, naval types. Love this guy with the binoculars, he's fantastic. And got our sailors there looking out for possible enemy attacks, hopefully going to submerge before we manage to disable the boat and steal the Enigma machine. See another scenario coming on. But bolt action is not supposed to be a sea game, but what the heck. Anyway, so $88, fantastic thing, something that you keep for a lifetime and just enjoy and show off every time you've got someone coming around to play on your table. Of course, I'll be needing some buildings, some dockside buildings and some docks to go around it. If you actually have a look at OGP's Terrain's website where they advertise this, it's actually advertised with just showing for illustrative purposes, a whole lot of dock type buildings, and they're very, very nice, so I'll be looking into those for sure. Now, looking at these guys here as compared to your 28mm or 156 naval guy as compared to the 28mm Warlord Games figure. Obviously these are a lot slighter. Warlord Games plus size models. If you want to know about that, check out Valhalla Games podcast, The Trouble with 28mm. We'll hear Dan and I just completely rave over that for 2 hours or so about all the issues or non-issues relating to scale. But what I have done for this video specifically, I've been out and bought a set of Perry, blister Perry miniatures there. These are desert guys, German desert guys. But what I just wanted to see is, compared to, say, the Warlord Games, obviously there's a massive difference there in bulk. Not much difference in height, but a massive difference in bulk. Perhaps, this guy's slouching, this guy's not on a base yet. But if you compare that to the 3D printed ones, I have to get my eye down in the video and check it out. Ah, yes, a cunning plan, my lord. I would say that these guys are pretty much right on what Perry miniatures are. So if Perry miniatures are 28mm, sorry, 156 true scale, then these guys are printed exactly to scale as well. To get my tape measure out. Don't start me, Dan will be on my back about just playing the game and not worrying about scale. But they are near perfect. Now you'll see here, let me turn it to the closer camera, you'll see here that the 3D printing, the striations are reasonably, you can even hear it, are reasonably pronounced here. Now, as well as that, as you come around this corner, they're a little bit blocky, but being a large flat surface, should be able to sand that down, give it a bit of filler, and sand that down pretty well. Good news is there's no detail as such that I need to worry about on that face there, except for this one section that goes across there. So, a fine example of 3D printed miniature to go on my table. Very much looking forward to it. Look at the dings in the side of the U-boat, just where it's been rubbing up against the dock, or perhaps part of the finishing process. Fantastic. They could have made it perfectly smooth, but they've made it realistic with these dings in it, and I love it. So there it is, U-boat Type 7 Waterline model, $88 including GST Australian. This is the Ruined Chateau. The description is, Ruined Chateau is a typical European manor house that has been destroyed by heavy gunfire, a grim monument to the savage nature of war. And it's in 3 pieces. For 28mm size, it is $68, including GST. That's Australian dollars, and then shipping is obviously dependent on where you are and how much it costs. It is a fantastic piece, made in 3 pieces. Let's have a look at the base section first. So here's the base section, a little doorway and a smashed out area there. Notice the stairs leading up to the next story. I love them. There's the back area, extremely detailed bricks. Side area with some bricked in windows, and the inside there with a textured base. It's a fantastic model for sure. Second story, similar sort of things, same textured base for the second story. Similar cutouts, really nice, really nice. And then the third story, incredibly detailed, tricky to model that up, I'm sure. So it's the tiles are gone, but the structure remains, and that is the boards that are underneath the tiles, bombed out, partially destroyed. Some sort of windows there sticking out the front. Yeah, it's a very nice piece, very, very nice. So first level, second level, and third level. Just for scale, here's your generic bolt action, supposedly 156 miniature, more likely closer to 148. So you can see the scale there, or inside, alongside the stairs. So there you go. Very nice piece, the ruined Chateau. $68 including GST, Australian dollars, and plus shipping. Next, a bit of fantasy. This is the Wightwood Abbey smithy. So as you can see, it's a blacksmith kind of building structure, lean-to type of structure. Price for this one, $75 including GST, that's Australian dollars again, and plus shipping. And this one I particularly like. It says printed in 7 parts. Mine came more or less assembled. I'm not sure whether that was something just for me or whether that's a normal thing. But there's a roof section there, very nicely made. A little bit of cloth or something around there to stop the rain coming in. Very nice. And then there's the forge, or the fireplace, forge I guess you call it. And I particularly love the tools here. The tools sitting on the workbench, up on the wall. There's a couple little boxes of things down there, and this looks like it might be coal for the fireplace. Even comes with detachable anvil, complete with 2 hammers. Not even just 1 hammer, but 2 hammers. And I love this. Framing here, the timber framing. It's really nicely textured. The flagstones are nicely textured as well. Certainly, I think that'll dry brush up very, very nicely. The other thing I like about this, maybe I won't put the lid back on in particular, is if you look at it with a 28mm, it's Mantic Games 28mm guy there, and another one that's slightly more heroic. It's actually fantastically to scale. I think for your heroic scale, 28mm, the scale is absolutely right on. You don't have to look at things being particularly small and affecting your suspension of disbelief. So right on scale wise there. So very, very nice. So again, that's the Wightwood Abbey smithy. And lastly, for the buildings, this is my absolute favourite. Save the best to last. This is the Wightwood Abbey Abbot's house. So this is a 3-part building. And first thing I just want to mention is the size, the scale. Have a look at our 28mm guys here, as compared to the doorway perhaps. As compared to the windows, which is always a giveaway. If the windows are at knee level, it's a bit of a giveaway. But that size is absolutely right on. That is the closest to the accurate size of any building that I've ever encountered. If you compare this, for example, to the Warlord Games building for World War II, the scale is just completely different. And this is closer to the scale that I've been building my foam buildings, kind of a true scale. Of course, the disadvantage with having full scale buildings is, and you can't even fit the whole thing in the shot nearly, but as you see, trying to get my arm down to move the guys that are potentially here in the street below, it's a lot trickier than a compressed size representational building, but I don't care, I just love it. I think it's absolutely fantastic. Again, this one printed in 3 parts. So the base part with the front door there, and these fantastic mesh windows, very detailed exterior. So these doors open, believe it or not. And inside, fantastic detail, fantastic stairs, even got a tapestry hanging on the wall there. Very, very nicely done. This is the nicest building I've ever seen, bar none, and fantastically printed as well. Level 2 has the cutout here to accommodate the stairs up from level 1, and then similar sort of texture inside, very nice floorboards, another tapestry on the wall and a shield there, which paint up nicely. I'm really looking forward to painting this guy. This is just magic. You can see here like a window seat type of thing, and underneath it's got little drawers for the Abbot's possessions and belongings. This is so nice. It's actually a shame to leave it unfurnished. So I have to look at that. Look at these windows, great Gothic looking windows. Final story, plain inside. These mesh windows are just great. Nice pointy spire. Again, you're seeing these in their completely raw condition, the same way that I received them from the printer. So they can definitely do with a clean up. But even just as they are, they'd be fantastic to put on the table. But I plan to invest a fair amount of time in putting these, painting these up so that the end result will just be great. Something that you keep for a lifetime and play with for a lifetime. So very satisfying clunk when these go together. I love that sound. Don't get that with foam buildings. So that's the final building, the Wightwood Abbey, Abbot's house. Now there is one larger building that actually goes, at least one more large building that goes with the set, which I don't have, so I'll have to have a look at that. I believe it's called the Scriptorium, so I might have to invest some pennies in that one, because that was great. So $99 Australian, including GST plus shipping. Well, I hope you enjoyed those close-ups. What a fine array of 3D printed buildings and other items we have here. Now, in terms of actually reviewing these products, that's a little bit tricky. So if I were to review them, and what I've done is I've created a number of scores out of 10, one for print quality, one for size, one for detail, adding up to a total number. But in thinking that through, what am I actually reviewing? The models are third-party model files which have been printed under license. So it doesn't make sense to review OTP terrain based on the quality of its models, because the models are from all different manufacturers. It doesn't make sense to review the print quality because they've been done on one of their tens and tens and tens of printers. So in addition to that, scale would be the other thing that you could rate it on, making sure that it's the appropriate scale for the miniatures. But again, the models are from different manufacturers, so rating them is in fact rating another manufacturer. So it leaves me with a tricky situation as to how to review these. I guess I would review them just based purely on the cool factor. Would I have them on my tabletop? and in that case I would have to say they are all 5 out of 5. Chateau, fantastic piece, incredibly detailed and well printed, and you know, I have to give it a 5 out of 5 for aesthetics. It's a little on the small size. For me, it is exactly the same as the Wargame stuff and the other MDF kits that you see around. So that's just me having my little thing about scale. But a fantastic piece. The big Chateau, wow, it's got to be 5 out of 5 just for pure scale and presence on the tabletop. Again, perfect scale with the Wargame stuff, MDF stuff that you see about, and again, like all the historical stuff that I've ever seen in Bold Action and Chain of Command and those types of games, a little on the small side, more representational. The German U-boat, wow, it's magnificent. Not only is it a great looking thing that I'll be proud to show up on my tabletop, it just oozes potential for scenarios. So, which is interesting because when I first unboxed it, I thought perhaps it might be a little bit lacking in game replay value. But honestly, I can just think of I'm just inventing things to enable me to get it on the table, and the fact that it comes with all the little guys as well, you know, that's a really great value. It allows you to have something on the table with men on it, on the dockside, without even buying a blister or a pack of Navy guys. So fantastic. The Smithy, wow, that's a beautiful piece in terms of table dressing on any table. You can sort of imagine the little village, and in fact the set that these all belong to have, now that I've looked it up a little bit further on OTP Terrain's website, actually has these two and about another 3 or 4 pieces, including a massive scriptorium piece which I mentioned before. That one's fairly expensive. There's a lot of printing involved in that. They are the best fantasy buildings that I've ever seen 3D printed. This is fantastic, and again, as I say, great for table dressing. But this one here, this has to take the cake. This is the best 3D printed terrain. In fact, the best terrain that I've seen from any manufacturer. I love the scale. It works really well for me with my miniatures for fantasy. I love the functionality. Some really great opportunities from there, guys. You know, shooting out or casting spells out of these top windows. Great playability for having models inside it, and the look of it's just amazing as well. So all in all, to summarise, they're just really fantastic bits of gear, and some are more expensive, some are less, but all in all, I think they're excellent value, and I would highly recommend that anybody has a look at OTP Terrain's website. I'll leave the link in the video itself, but also in the show notes below. The last thing is that I haven't mentioned these, but they sent me a selection of miniatures as well, some from modern gaming, World War II, fantasy, so I'll probably review those in another video episode, as I get these completed for painting wise. So I'll be looking up the best tips and techniques for cleaning up 3D printed models, and I'll probably at least share those on the hobby blog, fellowhellogames.net, if not make a video of what I've learnt from that perspective. And then as I get them finished, which will take a while, so don't be holding your breath for that, I'll be displaying them in a little mini video on the website and the YouTube channel as well. So last thing to mention, OTP Terrain have kindly supplied these for me. They didn't tell me what to say. It's an honest review, if you can call it a review. So thanks very much, guys. And also, what they've done is they've provided us with a 15% discount voucher site-wide for this current time period. We're in September 2020 right now, so obviously If you're watching this video sometime in the future, then this is not going to apply, but the 15% voucher, which I'll put in the show notes below, is valid until the end of October. So that gives you a month and a half to shop at your heart content. And I know Dan and myself have already got a shopping list, and we're going to take advantage of that 15% voucher for ourselves. Shh, don't tell anyone. But we'll be looking forward to getting some more kit to go with what we've got. Thanks very much, guys. See you next time.